This is the World Organic News for the week ending 2nd of October 2017. John Moore reporting. We start this week with some bad news and some good news. First, the bad. From the ABC News website. New temperature records expected as New South Wales and Queensland brace for second record spring heatwave. The headline says it all. Twice last summer we suffered under heat waves hitting between 45 and 46 degrees Celsius. That's around 113 to 115 F. Following a pleasant spring, inland parts of the east coast states have already had days over 40, and there are more on the way. Added to that, Sydney had its driest September on record, which date back to 1882. A mere 0.2 millimetres or 0.7 of a point for the month. We haven't had any real rain since April. The bush around here is dry, the litter is deep, and the fire season, which usually starts on the 1st of October, started on the 1st of September this year. To borrow a phrase from the Great Depression era, things are crook in Mollymook and there's no work in Burke. This saying referred to the lack of employment in those days. Today it refers to the state of the environment. I shudder to think about this summer, but think about it we must. Having lived through the millennium drought of 1999 to 2008-2012, depending on your locale, I do not look with relish upon this coming summer. Rain will of course be the answer. The question is when. Our second article this week from the BBC News site does indeed bring hope. A video presentation entitled, Why is Africa Building a Green Wall? Why indeed? Or even, what indeed? So this green wall is a 15-kilometre deep reforestation program along the southern boundary of the Sahara Desert. It will eventually stretch from the Atlantic to the Indian Oceans. The idea is to build a barrier against the southern movement of the Sahara. So that's the what and the why, but what about does it work? So far, Senegal is by far the most advanced with the plantings and maintaining of the Green Wall. I have planted 11 million trees. The effect has been to reduce wind erosion, provide shade and increase microclimate humidity. But more than that, former dry wells have refilled. This has allowed gardens to be planted again, people to be fed and communities to flourish. Also, migration to the cities has greatly reduced. Instead of having to look elsewhere for work, people are following the Green Wall as it grows across the continent. The benefits may well be even greater. If the Great Wall can return water to wells and keep people on their land, it may well be possible to walk northward the southern edge of the Sahara. If it works in Africa, it can walk back the Gobi Desert, the Sturt, the Mojave, maybe even the Atacama Desert in Chile. Certainly it should work where agriculture has been the cause of desertification. Overgrazing, overploughing and removal of tree cover when combined are almost guaranteed to bring on a desert. So they can be reversed. If a continent can come together to plant trees and raise gardens, I think we can all do a little bit ourselves, at least to grow our own food. To that end, I've knocked together a short PDF entitled The 1 Square Metre Garden. I understand there are parts of the world who do not use the metric system, so I have, as I try to on this show, converted 2 inches as well. 1 metre I have converted to 40 inches. It is closer to 39 and a bit, but the maths and the plantings work out much easier using 40 inches. So what do we grow? The idea is not to provide wheat, corn or potatoes, but to ensure a supply of leafy greens of varying types throughout the year. As we don't have a huge amount of space, I've selected more vertical varieties than the standard supermarket vegetables, cos lettuce instead of iceberg, for example. With the lettuce and the silver beet, leaves are harvested from the outside of the plant. This ensures the plant continues to grow. We are not in the position of a market gardener who needs to send the whole plant to be paid. We can work with nature in other ways. I've also included a patch of rocket, or arugula I believe it's also called, to be treated in the same way. Instead of picking outside leaves though, I suggest a form of strip grazing for humans. Divide the area of the rocket into 8 strips in your mind's eye. 1 strip per week will keep the plants growing, and should stop them bolting to seed. If they look like they're bolting, simply cut them back. I've done this with rocket, with silver beet and with lettuce. It didn't work with the lettuce, but it did with the silver beet and the rocket. I was able to keep picking leaves from one particular silver beet plant for 14 months. Admittedly, it doesn't snow here, and gardening can be an all-round thing, but still 14 months production from the one plant. I was impressed by that little plant. Anyway, I have other suggestions for planting in the leaflet: radishes, bok choy, bush beans, and perhaps even climbing tomatoes if you're up for it. To grab a copy of this, what I believe to be a useful handout, email me at square@worldorganicnews.com. There's a link in the show notes. And there's a transcript of this episode available at the website as well, www.worldorganicnews.com. And again, link in the show notes. And on that note, I'll call stumps on this week's episode. If you've liked what you've heard, please tell everyone you know any way you can. I'd also really appreciate a review on iTunes. It may or may not help others to find us, but it gives me an enormous thrill. So thanking you in advance. Any suggestions, feedback or criticisms of the podcast or blog are most welcome. Email me at podcast@worldorganicnews.com. Thanks for listening, and I'll be back in a week.